Testing. Testing. Sound check. Check. Is there an on? Check. Sound check. Check. Sound check. Check. Sound check. Check. Check.
We never went outside the airport. Like, I saw things, flying in and out of the mountains. It was a great place.
What did your dad do to take a picture overseas? You grew up in the construction kind of environment.
Yeah. Engineering. Although I'm not an engineer myself.
Okay.
Put it up to your mouth, closer. Yeah, here.
Yeah, it works.
Okay, read this line. No, read this line.
A Levite is a member of the tribe of Levi. This one was probably a pastor too, or maybe another kind of church
Very
worker.
good. All right.
It's about an inch. You know what how big an inch is? It's about an inch.
Just close to your
It
mouth.
almost feels like
literally heard of that.
Okay, now Sophia, focus on me.
it'll be really close to your mouth, hun.
Get it? It's going to be up here.
Than you think.
Okay, and you're interrupting, so you have to be kind of loud. Okay.
Okay.
Levi is a member of the
I
tribe of
literally-
Levi.
I
You
literally
really
heard-
put your energy into it,
I
okay?
literally heard Okay. it through the speaker.
All right, every time you interrupt, you have to have energy. All right, go sit down and I'll put this away.
Kid testing. 1, 2, 3.
Prepare yourself.
Yep. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Southminster Presbyterian Church. I'm Don Ludwig and the Associate Pastor for Family Life. Scott Delgarno is somewhere, he's in the building right there, Scott. So we have a wonderful service today. For the first time ever, it's not only going to be a youth mission service, it's going to be a children and youth mission service. So we have the children that are going to be leading us and the youth leading us and telling us about their experience last week. Children with the Frog Camp here in Beaverton, and the youth with the Frog Camp and the neighborhood party in Spokane, Washington. So we're excited about all of it coming together this morning. If you're new to us, do know that we would love to know that you're here. Either talk to Pastor Scott or I after the worship service. Also, we have a copy of today's service is always on the website beginning on Monday, as well as you can hear the sermon time once again. If you're in the sanctuary, please, on the inside of the aisles are some friendship paths. Please remember to fill them out. Let us know that you're here. That would be great. A few thank yous for the children staff and leaders and the youth staff and leaders. I want Bunny to certainly stand up. Bunny has worked tirelessly to put last week together, so thank you for all the effort. And also for mentoring the youth leaders and doing the Frog Camp. And on the youth side, I want Joanne Wakeland to stand up. First time ever on a youth mission trip. And Joanne, will you do it again or are you done?
Not this summer.
Oh, not this summer. So a year break. And then certainly Margarita, who is our youth intern, and one other college student who came back and provided leadership in Lincoln Sands. So Lincoln, stand up. Thank you. So a few announcements.
Wait.
Okay, one. Yep, now it is.
We really need to acknowledge some leaders that helped with Frog Camp, because I didn't do it by myself. No way. So first of all, Judith, will you please stand up? And Audrey Morissette. Where are you, Audrey? There she is. Okay. Judith helped us in the afternoons, and Audrey in the mornings and a couple of afternoons, and Ethan was our middle school helper in the mornings. And Emerson, where are you? Emerson? This is Emerson Fabian Hicks. And he was our youth intern all day, every day.
Very good, thank you. So you can read the announcements. There's a San Juan Island bike trip, parent and youth meeting today at 11:30. Water to Wine on Sunday the 9th. So next week, just keeping in mind there are room sales right around the corner. You can begin bringing items to the church. I believe it's the 12th. And then finally, just be mindful if you're available on July 25th for Warren Aney's celebration of life service. And Bert Schmidt, do we have a date? No. We do not have a date for Bert quite yet. So coming soon, you can see a lot of things coming in later July and early August. So let's pause ourselves and enter this moment of worship. Today's lay reader is going to be Lincoln Sand, and the youth and the children will be leading the service. Stephen Schrader is on piano. Jen Winquist is providing special music throughout the service. And Kathy is our sound technician for today. So words from the Buddha. A generous heart, kind speech, and a life of service and compassion. These are the things which renew humanity. For all who are able, please stand and join Lincoln in our call to worship.
When we look at the world around us, we are often troubled and frustrated by the prevalence of evil and oppression, and poverty and injustice. It seems that our work to the contrary is for naught. Throughout the history, people have longed for divine intervention, and victory of right over wrong. Jesus, however, pointed us in quite a different direction. As Jesus and so many others have shown, instead of looking for divine intervention, we should look to ourselves. May we attune our senses to what is often overlooked. May we pay attention to each moment, notice that which is present, treat the commonplace as important, and respond to the callings of love without limits.
Let us join together, and we are called.
A sign of peace.
Instead of sitting down, why don't you stand up, because you're going to help me with this. Stand up and face those people, okay? All right. Come on with me, Dory. Back up. Back up. Come on, gather around me. Come on. All righty. All righty. We're first going to talk about our frog camp experience. There was frog camp here, and there was frog camp far away in Spokane. That's why all these frog camp shirts are all over the place. I don't know why Pastor Don is hiding his shirt. Why are you hiding your shirt?
My mic.
Oh, your mic. There's a reason for that. Okay, thank you for telling me. Boys and girls, everyone, the name Frog Camp has been a little bit confusing to some people. They see that sign, Frog Camp, and they think, well, what is that? What can that possibly be? Well, Frog Camp, actually, if truth be told, is really just another version of something called Vacation Bible School. Who remembers when they went to Vacation Bible School? Yes, all right. So we haven't had, somebody told me we haven't had a Vacation Bible School in this church for a while. So we're kind of getting that going again. And this particular one was called Frog Camp. So Don thought that was a great idea, so he decided they'd have a frog camp in Spokane too. And we're glad they did, because you're going to get to hear the story involved with this particular frog camp. It's different every time. And you're going to experience the text in a couple of different versions, just like we have many different translations and many different versions of the Bible. You get to have the text a couple of different ways. And I think it's Lectio Divina. What? What's that? Well, Lectio Divina is a spiritual practice of reading the text more than one time. You read it, and then you think about it. You kind of think, what really struck me? And then you meditate a little bit, and then you read it again. And you say to yourself, I wonder what I will hear in my heart and in my mind this time when I hear it. And I hear different things the second time. And in a real Lectio Divina, you do it at least 3 times. We're only going to get twice, so you got to go home and do it yourself another time, okay? That's your homework. All right, but frog camp. Let's get back to frog camp. What does that mean? Can anybody tell me? Kali'i.
It means fully rely on God.
It means fully rely on God. Well, what does that word rely mean? Sometimes that's a little confusing. Can anybody tell me what rely means? Promise God. Oh, very good. Okay, what else could it mean? Anybody have an idea? Okay, yeah, Percy.
Depend on.
Very good, Percy. Thank you very much. Depend on God, or maybe just simply trust God. What do you think? We have a song, a little theme song, that was written by a lovely school teacher out in Beaver Creek, not Beaver Ton, but Beaver Creek, when we had frog camp out there years and years ago. And as you would imagine, it's called Fully Relying on God. So let's get behind the microphones, everybody, together, so we can share our song. You don't have to lean down, you just bunch together. Now, Dory, I don't think you know this song, darling, because you didn't get to come, okay? So you come with me, sweetheart, so you can hear the song. All right. All right, let's get over here. We'll just sit together here. All right, are you ready? Is everybody here? Ethan, you're not here. You want to help us sing? Not today. Okay. I need to tell you that we did have 15 children with us during the week. And some of them, can you imagine, they went on vacation. It's summer. So, but these are the children we have able to be here today, so let's sing our song.
But the microphones aren't on.
The microphones are on. Don't touch, please. Look at Bunny. May I have your eyes and ears over here? All right, ready? 1, 2, 3.
I'm just a little green frog sitting on a log, worshiping my Maker. And every day, in every way, I fully rely on God. Fully rely on God. I fully rely on God. I fully rely on God. That's why I am a frog and I'm so happy, so very happy. I've got the love of Jesus in my heart and I'm so happy, so very happy. I've got the love of Jesus in my heart. Ribbit, 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 ribbit. I don't think this one was on.
All right. Thank you so much, children. You'll hear another version of that later, too, I think. We are now going to share with you the first scripture version for today, and it is a story that you are familiar with. And before we do it, we will have to get set up. So we will set the stage for you for the story that Jesus told that we know as the Good Samaritan. All right, thank you so much, Jen. All right, now, first of all, we have a narrator. Narrator, your script is at the microphone over there, and you can take your place. And next, where's that other microphone? Thank you, Don. Next, we have an interrupter. Will you take your place right there? All right, very good. And let's see, we need the man who is walking. All right, that would be Lucas. Okay, Lucas, you're in your place, good. And next we have the Samaritan. Ethan, will you take your place? You know where it is. And then we have a priest, Noé. you go over there with Ethan. And next we have 2 robbers, and that would be Kali'i and Percy. We can have 3, oh, yes. Actually, he chose another part, but he can be a robber. He can be a robber today. That's just fine. Okay, Odyssey is our Levite. Okay, Levite, you go over there with those guys. All right, now the reason we have decorated our communion table with this beautiful green paper is because this is bushes.
That's a bit scary for
And we have to hide behind something, right? We have to hide behind something and be very quiet so the man doesn't hear you. Now, our stage is set. Curtain!
Jesus told this story one day. There was once a man who was on his way to visit a town that was far away. But out of the bushes jumped some thieves. They didn't say thank you, they didn't say please. They took all his things and knocked him down and left him bleeding on the ground. Not long after, a priest came by. He saw the man. He heard him cry. Did the priest help? Did he try? No, he did not. He walked on by. Next came a Levite. Huh? A Levite is a member of the tribe of Levi. This one was probably a pastor too, or maybe another kind of church worker. This Levite saw the man too and thought to himself, "What shall I do? I'd rather not bother with that kind of guy." So he stepped to one side and walked on by. Wait, you had that part.
Go ahead.
At last, a Samaritan came that way. Huh? In Jesus' day, Jews and Samaritans hated each other. Even though they had the same ancestors. Most Jews would not travel through the land of Samaria. They went by a longer route to avoid Samaria and any contact with Samaritans. Okay, not so at last. A Samaritan came that way. He saw the man and decided to stay. He cleaned the bandages his wounds and gave him a ride. He fed him some food and stayed by his side. And then the Samaritan went on his way. He counted the coins and paid the innkeeper for their stay. Then Jesus said to the crowd, "Who did the good deed?" Everyone? Now Jesus says, "You go and do the same for someone in need."
Take a little bow. Take a little bow. Take a little bow. Just take a little bow. Let's sit down.
Be a little more like the NSRV version, and the youth have their own version, more like the paraphrased who knows what version. So here are the youth telling the same story.
Jerusalem to Jericho and fell into the hands of a robber.
Hey, give me all your money.
The robber stole everything he had, beat him, and went away, leaving him half dead. Now, by chance, a priest was going down that road, and when he saw him, he passed by on the other side.
Oh, dang, man. That sucks.
Likewise, a Levite, when he came to the place and saw him, passed by on the other side.
Hopefully you get help.
But a Samaritan, while traveling, came near him, and when she saw him, she was moved with pity.
Are you all right?
What do you think?
Oh. Well,
She went to him and bandaged his wounds, having poured oil and wine on them.
there, that should do it.
Then she put him on her own animal.
Come on, over here.
The Samaritan took him to an inn to take care of him. Well, you look familiar.
Well,
The
please,
next day, the Samaritan took some coins and gave them to the innkeeper.
please take care of him, and I'll pay you back with whatever I spend.
I certainly will.
Which of these three do you think was a neighbor to the man who fell into the hands of the robbers?
Okay. So our theme reading today is very, very short from Thomas Watson Jr. Simply, the higher a monkey climbs up a tree, the more his butt shows. Chen Winquist on a song that has in the past been one of our theme songs on Mission. Chen wasn't able to come with us, but we've asked her to sing this song. So thank you, Jen.
I close my eyes and I can see a world that's waiting up for me in the all my own. Through the dark, through the door, through where no one's been before, but it feels like home. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say I've lost my mind. I don't care if they call me crazy. We can live in a world that we design. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. Oh, a million dreams for the world we're gonna make. There's a house we can build. Every room inside is filled with things from far away. Special things I compile, each one there to make you smile on a rainy day. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say we've lost our minds. See, I don't care if they call us crazy. Run away to a world that we design. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. Oh, a million dreams for the world we're gonna make. However big, however small, let me be part of it all. Share your dreams with me. We may be right, we may be wrong, but I wanna bring you along to the world I see, to the world we close our eyes to see. We close our eyes to see. And every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, the vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world we're gonna make. For the world we're gonna make.
And Margarita, if you can grab a stool and be up right here. So the higher a monkey climbs up a tree, the more his butt shows. We talked a lot about different quotes and what they meant to us, and delved in deeper to what they mean to us personally. And that particular quote, we talked about how we all need to be more humble. The more we focus on our own selves and the more we try to climb the tree and get what we want and to participate in the dream that is of America and focus only on ourselves, the more we get embarrassed because others can see that we are only about ourselves. But this week, going to Spokane certainly was about showing us all that we do not have. Very often we go there and we see people that are very, very happy, like this week. And it was an amazing experience once again with the same people that we've been partnering with for the last 18 years and some new people. And just, it was a stark contrast to be in West Central Spokane and then come back to Beaverton. So one of the other quotes that we talked about this week was learn to listen and listen to learn. And how listening is not just about our ears, but it's about our eyes. And it's about reflecting on what we see. So Sierra Estrada is one of the youth that went on the trip, and she had to leave yesterday to be with her dad. But she wrote, she's a senior, graduated from Aloha, and will be going to PCC this year. So, but she really wanted to share this. She says, this is my third Spokane mission trip in Southminster, with Southminster, and I've learned a lot. The main quote that spoke to me this year is learn to listen and listen to learn. The first step to learning is to listen, and the first step to listening is learning how to listen. When we take a second to listen, we actually are taking a moment to learn. Learn about that individuals and their experience are also how we learn about ourselves and how we only really see one part of the world. Our world is small, and the only way to expand it is to listen to other people's point of views, which teaches us not just about ourselves, but about others. The Spokane mission trip is a time to disconnect from our daily routine, our habits, our lifestyle, and listen to other people who are around and learn what their reality looks like for them in poverty. So our panelists up here, and Joanne will join us in just a minute. Just two questions. The first question, what was one meaningful moment for you on the Spokane trip?
Amina.
And say your name. It should be on.
Oh, wait, does it?
It will get on.
Oh, okay. Well, a highlight for me would be the Second Harvest Food Bank, which I truly loved being able to package, throw bread, as well as label macaroni and weigh macaroni. I'm glad that I was able to contribute to providing foods for low-income families and create those resources for them. It made me reflect and say, it's a privilege to be packing the food and not relying on food banks for my food intake. And I've always loved the organization that food banks have, and I will proceed to volunteer at local food banks so I can help communities here in Oregon. That ties into one of our quotes that we had in our journals that was, what are we doing for others? And I constantly want to ask myself that, and I want to ask you guys, what ways are you helping others and contributing to your community, or simply what are you doing for others?
I'm not very familiar with the Spokane mission trip. This is like my first one compared to everybody else here, and Margarita, who's also its first time. But anyway, one thing that I really admired and respected was how during the service for Southminster Presbyterian Church, they had this thing where they list a list of prayer requests for everybody, and it wasn't just people within the church. It was friends of friends, friends of family, and family of friends. And I really admired how willing Westminster was to listen to others and contribute to the best of their ability. And
well, this is my third Spokane mission trip, but mainly the first two, I only went because my dad's the youth pastor. But this time, like, I really felt like I could help out a lot more than the first two times. And one of my favorite moments was when we hosted the block party at the end, and we just got to see all like new faces and all the faces from the people at the camp that we hosted, and everyone was just like a one big community, and they were just having a lot of fun and a lot of smiles, and they were all really grateful for what we were doing, and so that just like really made me happy.
I think my favorite memory of the Spokane trip overall was just frog camp. It was so much fun. And every morning we started with singing and dancing, and it just got all the kids so excited. And then we continued on with loads of crafts and activities and games. But being able to see each of the kids' smiles and their laughs, but also along with that, my fellow, like the youths that were there too, seeing them have fun and so much joy, being able to just be with the kids and teach them so much. I think that was my favorite memory.
And Margarita, staying with you and coming back, what is one way that you learned to listen or listened to learn?
Throughout the week, I got to get to know some of the members of the church. Some of them came to volunteer for Frog Camp as well. And it was great just being able to talk with them. They shared their story with me on how they came to the church, but also I got to see how much the church has changed them. So listening to their story and learning that a community that is smaller can mean so much to someone and their lives, that every day it really, it's what their heart is. It's who they are.
Well, one of the times that I really learned by listening was when we gathered the kids in a circle and we told them to say one thing they were grateful for. And instead of saying just one, we just kept going around in a circle for about like 3 times. And it made me really think like how much we have compared to them, and still they're like grateful for so much. And so it really made me think that I should be a lot more grateful for what I have.
So one of my biggest takeaways on going to my first Spokane trip was that when you stay and settle in one place, it's very easy to become unaware, almost like tone deaf of what happens outside of your little bubble and community. And going to Spokane allowed me to open my eyes to like another world that is quite different from mine and show me what it means to listen to learn by looking at different communities with different like social standings and doing my best to contribute to their well-being.
For listening to learn and learn to listen, I think the fraud camp, like Margarita was saying, it was very heartwarming for me to be able to get to learn from the children in Spokane and see their point of view in the world. And I just wanted to make personally the best experience for them because I know how much this camp, how much just being there, the littlest moments mean so much to them. And just getting out of my small and little bubble and being able to be a part of theirs for a week really opened my eyes to how fun it is just hanging out with children and being present and living in the moment. And so that's what I learned from them, to be free, to let go and just stay present.
So on Friday, we had this block party. We'd been passing out flyers all week for the children's camp and then the block party on Friday. And we had 250 to 300 people join us for 3 hours. We provided all the food. We had a petting zoo come and all these animals, and it was just wonderful. We do have a short video that will show in just 1 second. Joanne, can you come back here and just share some thoughts on your experience as a first-time volunteer?
As a first-time volunteer, I was just so impressed with the youth. I couldn't believe how people would get up early in the morning and just go, oh, this needs to be done, let's go do it. And let's take care of this. And we worked together so well. And you wouldn't believe the enthusiasm at the Second Harvest, the food bank. You wouldn't believe how they sped up that assembly line for the bread. Anyway, they were just really fun to be around. And I was thrilled to see the enthusiasm as people were going knocking on doors, and I'm going, I don't know how to do this, but they were just going and doing it. And everybody was just so great. And the church, I was just amazed at what they try to do with so few people. Here they had a congregation of 25, and in the service, their prayer list was like 100 names. And they spent at least 20 minutes of the service just reading the prayer list. And my sense was, how can they do this? How can you possibly support this many people in need when, I tend to think the idea of discussing this is to find ways, we are supposed to be the hands of God and so forth. And how can you do this with just 25 people? But as they see it, just reading and thinking and calling on God, they believe in prayer. And that's what I was getting, that they said it's just important to do this whether we can help or not. So.
Thank you, Joanne. So, back to the words of the Buddha, a generous heart, kind speech, and a life of service and compassion. These are the things which will renew humanity. Amen. So we have a 90-second video montage that Alpha has put together overnight of some of the images of our time in Spokane. I'm going to ask the youth to put the stools and get ready for hand washing. And we're going to forego this next hymn and go right into hand washing. But together we're going to pray the prayer that is often used by us on the mission trip when we see so much need around us. It is hard sometimes to put the words into place. So we have used the serenity prayer. So all together in your bulletin, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen. So as a tradition in our mission trip every year, we'll bring the hand washing places. Sort of like our communion, we come up here, but this time you're asked just to come up to one of the 3 different stations, and you will put your hands above a bowl, and one of the youth will put water over your hands and say, fully relying on God. And the other youth will take your hands and dry them off with a towel, symbolizing washing of the hands by Jesus. And that person will say, to be the hands of justice. So fully relying on God to be the hands of justice. Can you come and find your place? So, and as we do that, Jen will be singing. So come up to one of the 3 stations. There's one right here, one over here. And as you do, just like communion, if you can, once you're done, we're going to make a circle around the sanctuary. So come, my friends, let's celebrate our commitment to serve one another.
In the storm, sovereign in my deepest joy, sovereign in my deepest cry, with me in the dark, with me in the dawn. In your everlasting arms, all the pieces of my life, from beginning to the end, I can trust you. In your never failing love, you work everything for good. God, whatever comes my way, I will trust you. Sovereign in the mountain air, sovereign on the ocean floor, with me in the calm, with me in the storm, sovereign in my greatest joy, sovereign in my deepest cry, with me in the dark, with me at the dawn. In your everlasting arms, all the pieces of my life, from beginning to the end, I can trust you. In your never failing love, you work everything for good. God, whatever comes my way, I will trust you. All my hopes, all I need, held in your hands. All my life, all of me, held in your hands. All my fears, all my dreams, held in your hands. In your everlasting arms, all the pieces of my life, from beginning to the end, I can trust you. In your never failing love, you work everything for good. God, whatever comes my way, I will trust you. Jesus. Give me Jesus. You can have all this world. Just give me Jesus. When I am alone, oh, when I am alone, oh, when I am alone, give me Jesus. Give me Jesus. Give me Jesus. You can have all this world. You can have all this world. You can have all this world. Just give me Jesus.
So in my zest to celebrate serving one another, I forgot to pay the bills, and we didn't do the offering. So what I want to remind you is that we have an offering plate at the back on the table, so if you want to come back and give your offering before you leave, that would be wonderful. So as we do our benediction, I'm going to have Norman take the piano for a moment, and Margarita and Afa are going to sing the frog song. Now that you sort of know it when the children did it, you can sing along, but these are new actions. You're welcome to join them. But this will be our benediction. And Norman on the piano. Okay, have a happy day, everyone. God bless.